As listeners, we want you to understand that the solution of business, tax, and legal issues depends on many factors, including local, state, and federal laws. Listeners' names and questions may be simulated. The show is not intended to offer business, tax, or legal advice, and Spiegel and Utrera PA, its attorneys, and Lawrence J. Spiegel recommend you seek legal advice from an attorney about your specific matter. AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. There are only two types of people, those in business and those who wish they were. Join Larry Spiegel, entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder of Spiegel and Utrera PA, with host Joe Castello, as they tackle issues and challenges associated with starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business in today's highly competitive marketplace. It's time to start or expand your business today. And now, here's Larry Spiegel and Joe Castello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. I'm Joe Castello, and once again, we're joined in studio by entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder at Spiegel and Utrera PA, Larry Spiegel. Larry, welcome back.
Joe, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to answering all these questions we're getting from entrepreneurs everywhere.
I love getting together and answering the questions. People out there, they got an idea, they got a concept, maybe they're working something, they're trying to get something going on the side in addition to their day job at night to try to better themselves, bring in a little more cash, whatever it is. It takes an idea, it takes hard work, and sometimes they have questions.
Absolutely, and that's why we're here.
Sometimes that hurdle may cause a problem, though, and that's where we come in. If you've got a question about starting, expanding, buying or selling your business or legal strategy, give us a call, 800-520-7600. Remember, it works just like a voicemail, so anytime, day or night, you can call 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question, and we may use it right here on the show. You can also email us at radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com and find more episodes of the show at AmeriLawyer.com/radioshow. Larry, are you ready to roll?
Ready, Joe. Hit me with the questions.
Here it is. First question. This one coming from Manny.
Yeah, hi. My name is Manny, and I was calling in to see if you guys can help me out. I've been working for a company for a little bit over almost a year now, and when they recruited me, I received a signing bonus, and I'm really just not happy with the direction of the company, and I was thinking of making a change. Just wanted to see if my employer has legal right to come after the signing bonus that I received, and if so, is there any way that I could avoid this or go around this? I'm thinking that I might have some good opportunities to move on, and I just really would hate to have to pay back any money based on this situation. I look forward to hearing your answer. Thank you.
Well, Manny, thank you for your question. My first thought here is, did you have an agreement with this employer about the signing bonus? And was that agreement an oral agreement, a written agreement? I would say if there was no agreement, there's no problem at all. If you had an oral agreement, what was it? If it was written, fax it to us at the General Counsel Club so we could take a look at it. But I would say that generally speaking, signing bonuses do not require you to return the money if you leave after a year. But again, it could very well be that there is an agreement, a written agreement between you, or an oral agreement that specifies that the bonus or part of it has to be returned. That would, of course, persuade you to stay in your employment.
Oh, absolutely it would. You don't want to have to give back the sign. It depends on how bad the situation is, though. I mean, maybe it would be worth it.
Well, many times the new employer will reimburse you for the amount of money you had to pay back the old employer. I suspect here, though, that there is no payback necessary.
Manny, thanks for your question. Best of luck. Follow up. Let us know how it all works out. Next question. This one coming via email. I am the general manager of a minor league baseball team. Our advertising and billboard sales have been declining for years as the economy has struggled. I have 3 solid major sponsors, but it is the medium to smaller advertisers where we have struggled. Would it be wise to reduce the cost of our billboards to help fill them? Or should I continue waiting out the poor economy and not take a chance of having to reduce my rates for our major sponsors, 2 that have been with us for a long time and are expected to continue at the going rates for at least for at least 3 more years, and the name is withheld.
Okay, name withheld. First of all, I want to thank you for your question, and I do appreciate the idea that you have told me the type of business, and I want to let the listeners know that the type of business is important. It helps me be more focused on the answer for the question rather than it being generalized. So let me give you an example. Somebody calls in with a question, says they're in a retail business. Well, that would not be as good as somebody calling in and saying they were in the hardware, had a small hardware store. The small hardware store is going to get a much better response because I'm able to visualize the exact nature of the business. Anyway, back to the minor league baseball team. What I was thinking about here that might be helpful would be to take your long-term existing advertisers and enter into written agreements with them that would go over a 2-3 year period. And in those agreements, you would explain to them that there's a tremendous lot of pressure on, and you're trying to keep management from raising the advertising rates, whatever the case may be. So you want to hold their rates for them for this 3-year period or whatever the case may be. And I think that then you sign them up and you'd have them under your belt. Because right now you don't have them either. You say you do, but you've got nothing to show for it. Then I would go to work with a strategy for these other advertisers, which I would try to keep my other rates in mind, but I may offer discounts to try advertising with us. I may look for advertisers of some sort where we could use an inquiry-based advertising method with them. There may be different things we could do, but the idea would be to lock up the long-term advertisers, then go to work with some real unique and different methodologies and pricing concepts with new advertisers. Think that the medium for this that you have to offer is excellent. We don't have to go anywhere further than any ballpark and see that there are numerous advertisers there. They're all there for a reason. They do get results from that type of advertising.
And minor league baseball has been a laboratory for creative promotions for 100 years. People are always, that's where all kinds of zany stuff happens and ends up in the major leagues many times.
Well, in many markets, the minor league team is the major league team, and that's that.
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you very much. And we'll be back with more of your questions, 800-520-7600, or email us radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Your questions are the star of this show, and we'll be back with more right after this on amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Start or expand your business today.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with how to buy or sell business, converting hobby expenses into legitimate business expenses. What are legitimate business expenses for tax purposes? Tips on leasing a business location, whether for retail, office, warehouse, or industrial. Leasing versus buying options for vehicles and equipment. IRS examinations, audits, liens, levies, deficiencies, and settlements of tax dispute. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to amerilawyer.com today.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Email radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Welcome back to Start or Expand Your Business Today. We are mowing through your questions today. They've been all over the place, but I love them, absolutely love them. 800-520-7600, radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Larry, you're really delving into these, and I do agree. the people they tell you the field that they're in, that's going to be extremely helpful.
It does. It helps a great deal to know exactly the kind of business that the caller is in, because, like I say, I can visualize their business better, and I can help them and give a much more meaningful response.
Well, let's get right back into the questions, and they have included what they are doing. This one coming from Glenn. Hello, my name is Glenn, and I design parts for high-performance automotive applications. Much of the work I do is stand out in my industry. When it comes to making specialized performance, I'm an industry leader. My problem is with customers that are purchasing specialized parts from me and then reverse engineering them. I make most of my money by selling these parts in volume to cover the cost of R&D. If each customer buys just one part, copies it with their own machinery, and then makes their own version, I will not be able to continue. I have been told that since what I do that makes my parts unique is the shape, that it cannot be copy protected. What can I do to protect my designs? Writes Glenn.
Well, Glenn, to be honest with you, I'm not a patent attorney, and I think you should consult with a patent attorney who's a specialist in the types of parts that you are manufacturing. I say that because there are numerous different classifications and types of patent attorneys. There's chemical engineers out there that are patent attorneys. There's mechanical engineers, all types. And if you're in doubt or have difficulty locating a patent attorney in your unique field, I would turn to the Yellow Pages in Washington, D.C., because many patent attorneys and those subspecialties are located in that area, because that's where most of the patent work is done. Now, turning to your situation, one of the things that comes to mind is, why are you just selling them one part? If you have costs of production and design, why are you just selling them one part? Why don't you make them buy more than one part? Why don't you charge more for the part? The other thing that I was thinking about would be the contract itself, that they would sign an agreement with you before they even receive the part, when they place their order, and they would agree that they would not use your part for any purposes whatsoever other than for what it was intended. In other words, they couldn't reverse engineer it or use it for design. It's simply being provided to them to utilize for the purpose in which it was intended. Short of that, I don't know what else I could add to it, but it does seem to me that the situation that you have is probably not unique at all, but yet it is one that you could probably control and overcome.
Just signing an agreement sometimes is enough deterrent to people to not do something like duplicate someone else's work.
Well, that would be the idea behind it. I mean, if you agreed not to do it, that you wouldn't do it. But more importantly, if they did do it, he would be entitled to damages. And if it's a company that of substance or an individual of substance, and the agreement they signed was properly drafted, that's another asset that he has. And if he goes after them, they have to pay his attorney's fees and so on, because that's what the contract says.
Glenn, best of luck to you. Next question. This one coming from Leonard. Hey guys, my name is Leonard. I own a small hardware store. We have been in business successfully for over 20 years and serve our community by providing specialized service for the homes in our area. A couple of years ago, Home Depot and Lowe's moved in a mile on each side of us. Plus, we are finding that many of the younger people in our area have no idea how to work on their own homes. We have a lot of challenges that we are up against. Do you have any advice on how to bring in some new business? Writes Leonard.
Well, Leonard, I think that's an interesting question that you have, and certainly an interesting challenge to your business. However, I think you could take from a number of other individuals and businesses that have been through this themselves, wherein I don't want to just say the big box store moves in, because Walmart is a different type of thing. It's a retail store selling products based on price. Here you have Home Depot and Lowe's, again, big box stores moving in, selling on price, but not necessarily educating the consumer, not necessarily giving the kind of service that's required in that sort of a business, because we've all been to the hardware store and we need something. We might even bring it in our pocket, a screw, or whatever it may be, apart from a toilet, And we need somebody to help us with that. And knowledgeable people in your store can be of great assistance to customers that come in. These customers are not going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's the next time they need something. And they're not even going to consider price. They're going to consider the fact that your operation has got the answers for them. Now, having said that, and I know that you had asked me on the issue of new business, I think that there are different things that you should consider here. One, there are hardware cooperatives out there. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're out there, and you should consider perhaps joining one of those hardware cooperatives. They will assist you with your inventory control. They'll assist you with purchasing, and they have lots of ideas that can help you weather this storm that you're in now. You may also pick up a trademark in the deal in which to operate under, which may be considered a plus by a lot of customers. The other thing that with a hardware store you may consider is that you might have a department that has seasonal home items. I'm thinking about a department that would have Christmas items at one time of the year, Thanksgiving items at another time, Halloween items at another, and so forth. But the theme is always about the home. We're not talking about selling costumes. Do you have a paint department? You might consider adding a paint department. This is a type of product that has a good margin. Another idea I was thinking about a flooring service out of the hardware store. The other thing is delivery. It's another method of competing, which I mention frequently, and that is to offer delivery. You know, today, with the smartphone, I can be home, have a problem with my toilet, call the hardware store, email them a picture of the part, talk to the man on the phone about it, and they could deliver me the new part, and I never even went to the store. So there's things like that that you can marry new technology with old school things that are required. Another idea would be financing. Again, we see this as a tool that's used for competitive purposes and it relates to higher ticket items. But one of the things that I see in vogue today, a couple things. One is these thermostats that are now very popular. They're very high tech and they're expensive. It's something that could be financed. Another item is the inline water heater, getting rid of the old water heaters and financing the new inline heaters, but not the lower end ones, the higher ends, and they're completely installed. And before you get done with it, you have something there that is a good ticket item, and you can offer financing. So somebody could get a new inline water heater, and you could show them how they will save so much per month in their electric bill, and yet the cost of it through the financing is only so much, so they're actually saving money right off the bat. Instead of having a long payback period, they're saving money immediately. So those are some of the ideas that I would have for you. I hope some of them will help you, spark something there for you, assist you, because this is an industry that I don't see falling by the wayside just because of the big box stores.
Larry, he mentioned that he's in business for 20 years. Is there something out there about these long legacy businesses? Just because you've been in a neighborhood for a long time doesn't necessarily mean that the people in the neighborhood are the same people and they're guaranteed to be familiar with you. Someone new moves in the neighborhood, how do they know about the local hardware store? A lot of people are programmed to go somewhere big. Is there something that they could do there?
I don't know, Joe. Do you have an idea for us?
Yeah, a person out there with a spinning sign.
Spinning sign.
You know, I always go with the spinning sign.
Well, the things about that you raise, when a new person moves into the neighborhood, frequently they'll ask their neighbor about things and so on and so forth. So I don't think there's a lot lost there with new people coming into the neighborhood. And a lot of the new people coming into the neighborhood have been through this before. They've moved into new neighborhoods before. So I don't really see that as the problem. The real problem is, as the caller has mentioned, the big box store comes in, and it's very frightening for these types of businesses. And they want to stay in business, and yet they have to put strategies in place that they have some idea that they will work, so they can devote their time and energy to it and still then continue to succeed. And I believe that this is one area where they definitely can in the small hardware store, because it's so service orientated. So like I said before, marry that with technology in some way and move on.
Leonard, great question. And if you've got a question for Larry, 800-520-7600, or give us an email, radioshow@amerilawyer.com. And remember, there are many episodes of the show on amerilawyer.com/radio show. We'll be back after this with more of your questions and Larry's final thought right here on amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
amerilawyer.com.
Start or expand your business today. Form your corporation for as little as $104.95. Each corporation is complete and includes state filing fees, corporation records book, corporate seal, articles of incorporation, corporate bylaws, corporate minutes, stock certificates, preliminary name search, and attorney's fees. Spiegel and Joe PA and amerilawyer.com can also help you with assumed or fictitious business names, advising on legitimate business expenses for tax purposes, discussing the converting of personal expenses into deductible business expenses, assisting you in developing a service agreement for your business, answering your questions on the advantages of minority-owned business certification, explaining the differences between a corporation and a limited liability company, and the benefits of creating either a regular corporation, S corporation, or a limited liability company. Knowledge is power. Order over the phone at 800-603-3900. That's 800-603-3900, or online at amerilawyer.com.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Call 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's 800-520-7600. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Final segment here on Start or Expand Your Business Today. Joe Castello and Larry Spiegel. Larry, the hardware store question. I loved it. You really got going on that one.
Well, thank you, Joe. It's a great area, part of what we're doing. We're not getting many people opening up new hardware stores, and that's what we really need.
Let's get right back into it. This one coming from Terry. Dear Larry, I'm an individual who works out regularly in the park. Lately, there have been other people who follow me along in my workout, and they have asked me about personal training them. At first I said no, but as more people asked, I decided to do it. I now charge $10 a person for an hour of training, and I have a few people working out with me each day. As the workout group appears to be growing, I am becoming slightly concerned. I don't mind making an extra few bucks while I work out, but I don't want any problems. Are there steps that I need to address as my workout is turning into a business? Says Terry.
Well, Terry, thank you for your question. That's interesting because we see businesses spring from hobbies. Now we're seeing, in your case, a business spring from an activity. So, yes, I think you need to form a company. You need to either incorporate or form an LLC, because one of the things that you need to do is enter into an agreement, a written agreement with these people that want to utilize these services. And, of course, the type of agreement we're entering into with them is going to be something like a release. And I was wondering about this idea where you're charging them on a per visit basis or the day they exercise. What I was thinking about is having a membership program where they then would receive unlimited exercise classes, if that's what you call it, during a specified period like a month. One of the things there that it cuts down on this idea of collecting money before the exercising each day, but it's going to be much more valuable to have a membership base for your business than it will be to have people randomly purchasing the exercises daily. So you should consider that, and I believe this you're probably onto something here, and you could develop a very good business.
Terry, thanks for your call, and best of luck. Maybe I can get in on that. The working out, certainly need it. And that's going to do it for this week's questions. And now it's time for Larry's final thought.
Well, Joe, during the show today, I was thinking about the knowledge that we're trying to put out there. And knowledge, of course, is power. Everybody knows that. But if they listen to you, they know that it's an enthusiasm that pulls the switch. So you're our guy at the switch with the enthusiasm.
Wow, I'm the focus of the final thought.
There you are.
This is great.
You are part of the final thought.
Well, I'm glad I come across as enthusiastic. Larry, thank you very much. The advice and the just knowledge that comes across on this show is hopefully helping a lot of people out there, if not in their specific business, but to just generate the thought and the concept that they can do it out there, that there's something that they can do.
Well, I think that people listening to the show that are entrepreneurs can take away a lot of information, even though we haven't discussed something specific as to their business, because they know better than anybody that most of these concepts have a common thread. They run through their business, and perhaps because of an answer to a question, they have received an idea from the show that will prove to be very valuable to them in their business. And that's what the show's all about.
Larry, great job as usual. And to you listeners out there, if you've got a question about starting, expanding, buying or selling your business or legal strategy, give us a call. 800-520-7600. That's 800-520-7600. It works just like a voicemail, so anytime, day or night, 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question, and we may use it right here on the show. You can also email us at radioshow@amerilawyer.com, where you'll find more episodes of Start or Expand Your Business Today. Larry, take us home.
Well, everybody out there, plan your work and work your plan. It's the only way that you're going to succeed.
He's Larry Spiegel. I'm Joe Castello, and we'll see you next time, right here on AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with selecting a legal and tax structure for your business, building business credit, when a trust should own your corporation or limited liability company. What are the benefits of forming a corporation or limited liability company? What are the differences between a corporation and limited liability company? Using employees versus independent contractors. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to AmeriLawyer.com today.
AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business.